Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mustard, and today I have a very special thing for you guys, the Infinite Art Glitch. Hopefully I can echo my voice or something and make that sound more cool. So a couple weeks ago, I had this idea, and the idea was AI is taking over the world. AI is doing all the things. It's making art, and as far as the art perspective of things go, it's been a lot more difficult for artists to stand out. You need to just produce more art. You need to post more art. More. It never stops. So what did I decide to do? I decided to build my own tool and try to make an infinite art generator. So the first thing I needed to do was define what I considered to be an infinite art generator, and my plan was take a bunch of doodles and have it assemble into a collage, and the results that I ended up with were more than I had ever anticipated. First thing I needed to do was just get the doodles, but luckily I'm kind of a weird guy, so I had a bunch of doodles already prepared. Take those doodles. So I've made a couple games in the past, and so Unity, I'm a little bit more comfortable with Unity than a lot of other programs, so I chose Unity, and I decided if it can just generate me a sphere, then maybe I can turn that into a blob, was basically the mindset. So the first thing I did was get it to generate a sphere, and that actually went quite well, and I was getting a bunch of cool outputs, and I posted one of them, and this is that output, and I thought it was pretty cool. The next thing I needed to do was fill that circle, so I figured out how to fill up the circle with a reasonable amount of doodles, and then I needed to figure out, okay, now I need it to get its blobby shape. But you know, the only way to beat AI is to use AI. So I went to AI, I went to ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT, what are some other ways that I could, spice it up a bit, add a little spice, add a little cayenne pepper, maybe a little chili powder. And ChatGPT spat me out a whole bunch of ways that I could do this, and so I started to implement them one by one and just checking out which ones are going to do anything of value. So I got all that set up, and I got it set up in a way where I could toggle each of the effects on and off. That way I could get a whole bunch of different random outputs. So now we have a whole bunch of variables. We have the amount of doodles that are originally put in. We have the amount of effects that are put onto those doodles. Hopefully the outputs will come out more organic looking, and what do you know, they did. And I'm still a little bit astonished. I honestly would have made more of a kind of a code bullet style video, but I honestly don't know how I managed to accomplish all this. But you know what speaks louder than words is results, ladies and gentlemen. So let's take a look at the results. And I think that that's all that we got for today in terms of the infinite art generator. I think that I'm going to try to do something like this again in the future. It was a cool experiment, and now I can generate an infinite amount of blobs. All I got to do is just make a few more doodles. I could input anything into this. I don't have to put doodles into this. I could put photographs. I could put shapes. I could put 3D shapes. It's in Unity. I could put 3D shapes. I haven't tried that one yet. I could do just about anything. The results are endless, and now I have this program to build off of. So if you ever see any posts that are kind of like this on my Instagram or anything, that's where they came from. They came from the Infinite Art Generator. A very useful tool for me to post a little bit more art than I normally would.